And so everything's sort of on my shoulders, and I was happy to take that on. And I think as a military officer, you learn a lot of things and skills with dealing with people and risk and planning, and those skills certainly helped in the way that I planned the business and how it was going to be structured and streamlined and everything else in order to make it the maximum sort of output with minimum risk and just keeping everything as streamlined as possible.
Today we have Nick Griffith, the founder and CEO of Onpointpi Group. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you, Ryan. Great to be here.
It's awesome to have you. Mate, I'm interested. Tell us a bit about your business.
So we're a property business, and our main focus is to help Australian Defence Force members, both current and ex-serving, purchase property, be it their own home or investment properties, and we do that through a number of education mechanisms that we do up front, and just teach them everything they need to know about property investing or purchasing your own home, mistakes to look out for, finance tips, everything they need to know to safely get into the space to confidently buy a property. And then we link that in with all their own Australian Defence Force housing entitlements. So as an ADF member, which is Australian Defence Force, there's a number of housing entitlements that they can utilise, which can help them get into their first properties, and we help them understand what they are and how to best employ them at the right place, right time, etc.
Fantastic. And how did you get started?
So I was in the Australian Army for 20 years as an engineering officer, and during that time, I had a number of deployments overseas to Afghanistan, Sudan, and these sort of things, which gave me the opportunity to have a bit of extra money. And during that time, that's when I first got into property investing myself and started buying a number of properties and building up a pretty decent portfolio. And then when I decided that it was time to do something else with my life, as much as I love the military, that's when I got into, I left the army and then got into the property investment industry, where I worked with another company helping people buy investment properties. And during that time, I realised, okay, there's a bit of a niche market here with my relatability to soldiers and through my experience and having been sort of where they are now, that I can help them understand all the things that I wish I had known back then and could have employed myself and saved me a lot of time and money and effort and angst, just having that mentorship. So yeah, definitely saw a niche there with that relatability aspect, and then decided that, okay, I can set up Onpointpi and then really focus our efforts in helping our Australian Defence Force members have great success and avoid those costly mistakes that can easily happen.
Yeah, fantastic. And so where do you think you bring the most value to the marketplace now?
In terms of for our clients, it's 100% the ability for them to then have a team that's helping them through the process from woe to go. So from the education piece right through to property selection, location selection, what to buy, getting your finance sorted, all the legal aspects sorted out. If it's an investment property, right through to property management and tenants in the property ready to go. So it's effectively a one-stop shop. And I know that everyone listening to this podcast would agree we're all time poor, and all our ADF clients, and we also do non-ADF clients as well. Time poor is a key aspect, I think, in all our lives, and having that team like ours that just guides them through that whole process just gives them that peace of mind that everything's been done correctly, and and really mitigates a lot of the risks. So there's no sleepless nights about, oh, hang on, what do we need to do next? Have we made the right decision? It's all, it's all there for them, and we provide that guidance and mentorship. So that's probably where the real value is.
Yeah, fantastic. And so, like, here's I guess, a bit of a mindset question. What had to change in you from sort of like leaving the army through to where you are now, having that successful business?
Well, I mean, I think it's probably common with a lot of business owners when they go from a paid job where there's that security to, hang on, this is your business where the results of what you get are a direct reflection of what you put in, and so everything's sort of on my shoulders. And I was happy to take that on, and I think as a military officer, you learn a lot of things and skills with dealing with people and risk and planning, and those skills certainly helped in the way that I plan the business and how it was going to be structured and streamlined and everything else in order to make it, the maximum sort of output with minimum risk and just keeping everything as streamlined as possible. So yeah, I think that's definitely the biggest one. And then as the business has grown, identifying what those things are that need to happen in order to then scale, get to the next level, and not try and do it too quickly, where we're effectively over capitalizing and waiting for things to catch up. Where I've done it in reverse, where I've had it more event based growth as opposed to, hang on, it's time to do something, time based, time triggers as opposed to event triggers.
That's good. And so, could you give us a couple of insights as to how you got a couple of, big or dramatic kind of growth levers in your business? And what sorts of things really helped you to grow?
There's two main things. So when I first went out on my own, I was actually doing everything on my own, and I joined a business group. I'll give them a plug. The Entourage. They're one of Australia's leading business and entrepreneur coaching groups. This was back in 2017, and I went along to one of the first seminars where they teach you things about how to build your business, and they taught me how to build a funnel. And whilst I understood what a marketing funnel was, and I wasn't really interested in learning how to build it myself because that's not what I'm good at. I'm good at doing the speaking to the clients, talking about properties, and doing the stuff that I'm good at. So I decided to leave that group at that point in time, and then I hired an agency to build my funnel and do all those things to bring me the clients and the people that I need to service and focus on the things that I'm good at. And that was the first step. So not trying to learn how to do everything and then do it myself, just get the right people to do the right jobs. And then I was able to focus on what I'm good at. And then the second thing was then leveraging onto a marketing agency. So whilst I had someone looking after my marketing for me, they were effectively a one-man band doing a pretty good job. And then at the start of this year, we decided to really invest in a marketing agency that was a proven global performer. And whilst the cost of it at first, I almost fell off my chair, I planned that the next 6 months, if we spend this much and the output's this, and this, which is what we expect it to be, then it more than sort of quadrupled the input to what the output was. So the two things there were getting some decent coaching and then finding out what are the things I'm good at and focus on those. And then the second one was actually outlaying the money for a decent marketing agency and a marketing campaign to get those leads through the door. And our leads went absolutely nuts when we did that, to the point where we had to turn the marketing off so we could capitalize and consolidate.
Yeah, great. And obviously, being a marketing agency ourselves, I highly recommend it. So yeah, well done.
Yeah,
Excellent choice.
there we go.
um,
A plug for the industry.
yeah, definitely. What's been the most challenging part of growing for you?
The most challenging part of growing, I think, for me, it's been the fear of growing too quickly, and I think I'm still guilty of it. I could have brought more people on and then just gone gangbusters, or potentially not. And it's that potentially not bit that's probably held me back from doing that. And I've tried to keep it streamlined. So growing at a sustained rate has been within my comfort level. But the biggest challenge has been taking that really big step and going sort of balls in, so to speak, to see how it goes. And then in terms of planning, had I done that at the start of this year and gone balls in with the marketing agency, which we did, but then brought on more people to support all the new leads,
Mm,
and more sales agents, etc. Due to what's happened with the market and the short supply of stock, etc., that's pushed everything out to next year. So we would have been faced with a huge challenge of having all these leads and new clients that we can't provide a product for, and all these staff that are now waiting for all the magic to happen. So the timing was quite good. So in that regard, my lack of going balls in was a good move, but that's also something that's probably holding me back from going even further than what I should be going.
yeah, sure. So, what advice then would you give to a business owner or CEO who really wants to break through to their next level?
100% is for us was identifying that niche market. So for us, it was Australian Defence Force personnel, and not just anyone who's looking for an investment property. So having that avatar client and a clearly defined um, client base then redirects all marketing focus and effort and what your business stands for. So our whole business is focused around that ADF aspect and what we do to support that.
Mm.
And then really having the confidence in your marketing and then having the actual support systems in place to then be able to service and effectively do what you're promising your clients you can do once all those leads come in. So having all the foundations set up, hit go on the marketing, have it all streamlined towards what your avatar client is, and then being able to support those clients and then move forward and then grow from that effectively. The whole planting a seed analogy, the tree grows and then, more apples grow and then start feeding off that. So that's our analogy we work off in terms of our growth. An oldie but a goodie, but yeah, that's probably the best advice.
Yeah, I like it. That's good. And so, if you could give yourself a bit of advice, say you went back 5 years ago, what would you be saying to slightly younger Nick then?
I would 100% be saying don't be playing it so safe, but whatever your marketing budget is will reflect um, your revenue at the end of the financial year. So I was a bit tight at first on marketing. I was like, all I need to do is spend this to get that, almost scooping. But now I've realised, okay, this is what you need to put your smart money into, and that budget is a direct reflection on the output. So if I had my time again, and it was only 4 to 5 years ago we started, I would have done that in year one.
Yeah, fantastic. That's yeah, that is really good advice because obviously if you're investing in feeding the machine, then the machine can then grow exponentially if you let it. So yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's great.
100%. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and finally, Nick, who can you best help? And if they want to get in touch, how can they reach out?
So any of our clients from the Australian Defence Force can find us on our website, which is www.onpointpi.com.au, or our Facebook page, On Point Property. Um, and there's links on both those to webinars where they can get a great information about all the things that we do, all the things we teach our clients about, anything they want to know about property investing or their entitlements. And for all our service providers, builders, and other developers that like to work with us, just on LinkedIn, On Point Property.
Yeah, fantastic. Nick, thanks so much for coming on the show and for giving us the value that you have.
Thank you, Ryan. Absolute pleasure.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate. Have a good Christmas.
You too.